Hi, everyone. I'm Mike Staver. This is Mondays with Mike, a weekly video series where I answer questions from people just like you. Here's this week's question. It's a long one. Stand by. Mike, not sure if you've already addressed this, but I'm wondering about the WFF. Work from home debate going on now in the corporate world, and I thought of you. Here is the question as you see fit to address it. Mike, I was wondering where you stand on the issue of companies bringing staff to the office and others who continue to work from home model. Having staff fully work from home really concerns our leadership team for training, culture, and accountability issues. Also, it seems on the surface at least that there is a pandemic of mental health concerns in this country. And how does more continued isolation feed into that or perhaps make it worse for our people? We want a productive work environment and we want the best for their well-being. What do you say to this difficult question? Well, yes, I have addressed this. I've addressed this a couple times, but I'm going to address it again because I love how much depth and breadth there is to this question. Where do you stand on the issue of companies bringing staff to the office and others who are continuing to work from home model? I don't think it's an or thing. I think there is a way to build culture and accountability and so forth and still have a working remotely option. You infer, though, that there is a pandemic of mental health concerns in this country, and how does more continued isolation work environment best for their well-being? You infer that working from home or working remotely is isolating. And did you know that there are people who working at work is worse for their mental health? That for some people, working at the office is worse. If they have to commute an hour and a half or 2 hours to work every single day, or an hour and a half and 2 hours home, they're in a highly stressful environment and they're an introvert. They might work much better from home. Now, I will tell you, I have a client right now who isolation doesn't work. They have to go back in. So I think the answer to your question is it's a hybrid model. I think there is a pandemic of mental health issues. I'm actually addressing it in some upcoming work that I'm doing in our micro-learning project. And so I think it's individual. And I think that it isn't going to be a one-size-fits-all model going forward. I think for some, a hybrid of both. A couple days in the office, a few days working remotely. For some, all the time at the office. But whatever you land on, you need to be fair. Because if you allow people to work remotely, you have to be fair. And the mental health issues are real. Isolation is not good, but don't think that isolation and working remotely is a synonym. It's not necessarily, because when this all lifts and goes away, people are going to socialize. You can still have social events. I've got somebody right now who's doing a hybrid office thing. 1 day at home 1 day in the office, 4 days at home. And then they rotate people through. Some very large companies in the country are divesting themselves of hundreds of thousands of square feet and making workspaces that you sign up for. Right? So you can be in the office when you feel like going in. I have a CEO friend and client who is inviting her team to the office for lunch or meeting them in remote locations. So you got to be creative. There is a pandemic of mental health. We need to address it. There are issues out there. Just be careful not to assume that because isolation wouldn't work for you, that working remotely, number one, means isolation or wouldn't work for some, because it might. We've got to be thinking expansively. It's not an or question, it's an and question, and it's going to be largely determinant on the kind of business you're in, the kind of environment you're creating, and not having bias. Right? That's really important. Hope that's helpful. If you have a question, send it to info@mikestaver.com. That's info@mikestaver.com. We're going to work it in. Thanks for listening. Thanks for being a loyal viewer. I appreciate it very much. Until next time, be courageous. Take care.